Yes, we're doing another Mario Odyssey video. This time we're going to be ranking the bosses from easiest to hardest. Starting with the easy category. Before we start the list, I just want to let you know. When it comes to the 4 brutals, we're only going to be ranking them based on their middle fight. As for the rest of the bosses, we're going to be doing their original fights only. Okay, here's the easy category. The easiest boss on the list is Donkey Kong. Even though Donkey Kong kind of seems a little difficult, he's actually very easy. You just need to dodge his barrels, and you need to hit all of his cubes. Mollusk Monsieur is next. Mollusk's rematch is actually more difficult than his default fight. His rematch is easier than his default fight. Anyways, he's the second easiest boss because even though his default fight is more difficult, he's still not a hard boss. Next up, we have the Mecha Wiggler. The Mecha Wiggler is actually harder than Mollusk Monsieur because of his attacks. In his rematch, you have 2 of him, which actually makes it harder than his default battle. He shoots electric lightning balls at you. Yep, next up we have my favorite bosses, the Brutals. If we had to rank them separately instead of together, we would say Topper is the easiest. Harriet will be next in line. And then Rango. Yeah, it's basically the word you fight them in. And even though Rango is the dumbest of the Brutals, he's still the second most difficult of the 4. And then we would have to say Spewart is the hardest, seeing how difficult he seems. Next up we have Madame Brood and her chain champions. They just seem very difficult. They're way more difficult than the other 4 Brutals, simply because she has a chain champions, and she's large herself, very large. Remember when I said that we were only gonna rank characters based on their first fight? Well, Bowser, we're ranking him based on his final fight, since it's actually more of the main fight than his first one. Unlike the other bosses, Bowser is the final boss. He's harder than the Brutals, simply because he shoots a very big fire at you. Starting off the top 5, we have Torque Drift. Torque Drift shoots lasers at you and wants to steal all the flowers from the Wooded Kingdom. He's just way more difficult than Bowser, just because of his attack. And just missing out on the top 3, we have Knuckle Attack. Even though people say he's the most difficult boss, I can find other bosses that are way more difficult than him. He just shoots his fist at you and accuses you of stealing his ring, even though it was Bowser and the Brutals, as I said in my previous Mario Odyssey video. Anyways, now we have the top 3. The bronze medal for hardest boss has to go to the largest boss on the list, the Lord of Lightning. The Lord of Lightning is so difficult, but he's not the most difficult despite being the largest boss that you fight in the game. He shoots a lot of lightning and electricity at you. And like I mentioned, is the largest boss in the game. But he's easier than our final 2. The silver medal for most difficult boss. We have the final animal boss on the list, Cookatiel. Cookatiel is a chicken. She shoots food at you and pink lava or frosting at you, and you have to climb up that pink liquid to attack her. You have to avoid her food. But our final boss on the list is way more difficult than Cookatiel. The gold medal for hardest boss is the Robo Brood. Robo Brood is way harder than the other bosses. So all the other bosses, sorry, but Robo Brood is the hardest. He's not the largest, but he is the hardest, simply because his attacks are hard to defeat. You have to use either a Hammer Brother or this bird over here, so you can attack one of the Brutals. Yeah, the Brutals are the one doing most of the work, but the Robo Brood, he's the one going after Mario, which gives Robo Brood the reward for hardest boss in Super Mario Odyssey. Well, how would you rank these bosses, everyone? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.